Hey, and happy Sunday. It's another Sunday again, and this is Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and fingers crossed, Facebook is going to cooperate this week and is not going to check us off. So just in case it does, you know, kind of stick with us. So the last couple of weeks we've had some tiny issues with Facebook, you know, kind of up checking in the middle of it, and awesome. Notifications are on tonight. Hello, Sheila, and hello, Wendy. So I have a backup over here. I've got the laptop set up, and I was actually going to watch it on the laptop just in case notifications weren't showing up, just in case I couldn't see your comments again this week. But yay, Facebook, thank you. You fixed one thing this week. And hey, Kim. Hey, Janet. So yeah, awesome. Okay, maybe it's going to stick with us. And there's Sandra from Dingman's Ferry. And Sandra, I can see it this week because it is showing up. And hey, Joyce, yeah, Joyce says, love the shirt. This is the unisex version, I guess is the regular version. Hey, Mindy, and hey, Shirley, of the shirt. Hey, Debbie. And yeah, so they're awesome. Yeah, hey, Lisa. So we put some information in the group. Hey, Carol, and on here on the page for everybody. Hey, Cynthia, if you want to, you know, if you'd like to get one of our awesome Wago shirts. Hey, Claudie. So yeah, and hey, hello, Joy. Yeah, Joy says, hope you're having a great day, a great on-plan day. Yeah, she's saying that to everybody, so everybody let her know. Hey, Kim, and hey, Phyllis. Yeah, thanks, Kim. Yeah, I love my shirt too. And hey, Debbie. So yeah. I'm going to say hi to everybody, and if you're YouTube, hey, Marlene, if you're watching this later on YouTube people, I promise I will post down in the comments what time, hey, Sybil, what time the actual chat starts so that you can skip straight to that and you don't have to watch me say hello to everybody unless you want to watch me say hello to everybody. But today is April the 8th. Hey, Lynn. Today is, and Joyce has a back on plan day. Good job, Joyce. But today is Sunday, April the 8th, and if you're watching with us on Sunday night, on April the 8th, then you're watching it live with us, and we're on Facebook. And this will be posted later here on the Facebook page, and it'll also get posted on in our Facebook closed group, and it'll be on YouTube. So never fear, if you missed it live tonight, you can always watch it later. I know we've got a couple of people that do watch it later. My Christy kind of binge watches it. You know, I don't know, for lack of a better term, because she doesn't have time always on Sunday night. So sometimes when she's working out, when she's walking or whatever, then she'll watch, you know, like 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever of them. And hey, Phyllis. Yeah, Phyllis says she's so excited. Yeah, so I am too. I've got a lot of stuff to show you all tonight. So yeah, so I'm going to finish saying hi to everybody, and then we're going to have to skip to the content. But if you're watching this later on YouTube, pretty please, or if you're watching it here tonight, you know, pretty please, remember to like and to share, and also to subscribe. Yeah, if you're on YouTube, you know, subscribe so that you won't miss any of these when they come up, because we do this every single week. And even if you can't join us live, you can always watch them later and you'll know. Hey, Susie. Okay, so thank you all. Thank you very much last week for letting Alyssa and Casey crash our party. So that was a lot of fun for me as Nona. It was a lot of fun to feed Casey and Alan for a dinner. Hey, Betty, to have Easter dinner with them, and for letting them crash. So Alyssa is just, you know, she's growing like a little weed. So I can't wait until she's big enough. Hey, Tina, I can't wait until she's big enough to join us more often and to actually maybe interact with you all. Hey, Evie, she already likes to watch TV, or like she's not watching TV, but she likes to watch the motions go around. And it's so funny because, hey, yeah, and Mindy says she looks forward to 8 o'clock every Sunday night. Yay, thank you, me too. And yeah, and Sybil says, I love seeing Casey and Alyssa. I did too. In case you haven't told, I'm a little bit addicted to them. But anyway, so, yeah, she's already starting to watch things go by, and we had a Disney parade on YouTube on, hey, Ruth, over at Casey's the other day, and her eyes just lit up, and she was like, she was watching everything go. And then we also watched a little bit of Planet Earth 2, and, you know, David Attenborough, you know, his soothing voice in the background. Hey, Janice. Yeah, Janice finally got here tonight. Good. We're glad you're here. And she just, you know, was hanging on every second of, you know, of his voice, I guess just that soothing voice, and also of the, you know, the animals running around and lots of bright colors and things. But anyway, so hey, Teresa. So she's you know, so she's already kind of starting to interact with the, you know, with the TV and the phones and everything. And it's funny when you get the phone out now, it's almost like she knows that you want her to look at it. So it's getting easier and easier to take pictures of her. Hey, Lisa, you know, to take pictures of her, because it's, I don't know, it's weird. It's like she knows exactly where to look. But anyway, so thank you for letting them share the time with us last week. I do really appreciate it. And yeah, so I got the walking hair here. Hey, Melissa, and yes, yay, it's chat time. Got the walking here going because Karen and I were successful this week. Mother Nature cooperated just long enough. We got 15,000 steps. So if you all are, yeah, and Carol says that's such a girl. Yeah, such a girl to be looking at the camera. But if you all are in the closed Facebook group, you know that Julie has a workout challenge going on, and the workout challenge doesn't mean it has to be something hard, and it doesn't mean that you have to push yourself beyond you know, what you can do. You know, a lot of you are just starting out, and so we don't want you to hurt yourself, and we don't want you to burn out too early. But what it's more of is just an encouragement to just get up and do something. So if you're in our group, you know, we've all been kind of keeping track of each other, you know, how we're doing. So yeah, so today I was like, I gotta go, because I gotta report into Julie's fitness challenge, you know, and you know, kind of the, what did you call, if Julie's already here, what was it, the egglet, oh, egglet exercisers. Yeah, it was such a cute name. Yeah, and Jackie's at 14,941. And also, YouTube people, if you're watching this later, if I comment on thumbs ups or what people are saying, it's because I can see them in the comments, thank goodness this time. But yeah, and Sybil's loving the challenge, and she's going to go to Planet Fitness tomorrow after school. Awesome, awesome. And Sandra never misses a chat. Yeah, so Sandra's here even if Facebook decides to check us off. Anyway, so hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not going to happen tonight. If so, we all know where to find Mark Zuckerberg, because he's going to be with Congress for a little while, you know, coming here soon. But anyway, so hopefully we'll stay with us tonight. Yeah, and y'all keep posting what you're doing for the fitness challenge. So that's, you know, that is awesome. So, you know what I'm going to ask next? What am I going to ask next? Hey, Carla. What I'm going to ask next is who attended a meeting last week? So who attended either a physical meeting last week? You actually went to your meeting, like I go to one here in Knoxville on Tuesday night. So who either went to a physical meeting, you went to a physical meeting last week, or you attended our meeting last Sunday night. Let's see some thumbs ups. And YouTube people, I'll let y'all know what's going on. Okay, already got a couple of people. So yeah, people who attended a physical meeting. Oh, lots of thumbs ups. People who attended a physical meeting last week. So you went to a meeting somewhere in your town, or if you were out of town and you visited another meeting, or you went to our meeting last week, give yourself a thumbs up. Let's see them. Lots of thumbs ups. Yeah, lots of people. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Look at all of them. Look at all those thumbs ups going by. I wish you YouTube people could see this, because there's a whole lot of them. So everybody that went to a meeting, you know what you get. Bravo stickers. Good job. Good job, ladies. And do we have any men tonight? So far I'm just giving out Bravo stickers for girls. Oh, and Lisa did both. So Lisa gets 2 Bravo stickers. Yeah. Awesome. Look at all those thumbs ups. Bravo stickers, everybody. Hey, Diane. Okay. Awesome work, girls. And if there's any guys, yeah, awesome work attending your meeting last week or attending with us last week. So somehow I've got to figure out a way to let that count, to like give you a stamp or, you know, or do the sticker or something. But anyway, so I need to figure out a way to make that count. Okay, oh, and Melissa's at 15,077. Uh-oh, Melissa. I may have to jog around the loft after we get off the chat here tonight. And Kim did both too. Yep. Oh, Janice. Janice says no meeting, no nothing. I get a thumbs down. Janice, no thumbs down, because guess what? You're here tonight. Yeah. So Janice, you still get a Bravo sticker because you came tonight. So very good. Shirley Ann's down another 2.8. Good girl. Good girl. That's awesome. Okay, what's my next question? Everybody knows what it's going to be. Yep, if you attended a meeting last week, or if you were here with us last week, then you know I had some homework for you. So what was last week's topic? Who remembers? Who remembers what last week's topic was? I'll give y'all just a second to answer, because we do have a lot to go over tonight. And I know I say that every single week. But what was last week's topic? Anybody? Anybody? Because remember, I can see your comments tonight. Yes, Sybil, we had homework last week. Yeah. Yeah. What was the topic about last week? Betty says homework. The topic wasn't about homework. Hey, Colleen. Yep. Kelly's exactly right. The other Kelly's exactly right. Speaking up. So, hey, Lacey. So, yes, last week's topic was about speaking up for yourself. And yes, Sybil, you're right. So this is a weekly. If you attend a physical meeting, you should be picking these up. When you go in, you can get them from the receptionist. A lot of places have them just sitting out when you first check in, but always grab a weekly. And if you miss a week, they should have extra copies of them. Hey, Kathy, they should have extra copies that you can pick up. Or if you are online only, or if you just can't get there and get one. If you're online, if you're doing Weight Watchers online, or if you have e-tools, you can always pull these up during that week. You can pull them up if you're on your phone at the very bottom of that first screen. there's a little thing at the bottom that has the topic for the weekly, but you can only see like a on your phone. You can only, hey Randy, on your phone you can only see just like a highlight of it. You actually need to go online, like on a computer, so on a laptop or on a regular computer, and log into WeightWatchers.com to be able to get this. But you can get the exact same one. It has everything. It has, if you go online, it has everything in it that this does. It'll just, you can either look at it online, or you can hey Shelly, or you can and Melissa says she's hoping for a Wego tank. I don't know, Jordan, if you're here. Okay, now they're asking for tank tops. I guess we could do tank tops for working out. I don't know. Maybe we should do something different. Like Casey and Jordan have been tossing one around. They've been tossing an idea around for like a tea towel or something. So maybe we could do the tank and the tea towel. Okay, and I have to just pause a moment and say, Lacey has been at Disney World all week. Okay, she has been at Disney World all week. Oh, great. And Debbie says I'm frozen. I'm going to keep talking because you know it'll come back. But Lacey has been at Disney World all week, and she lost 1.6 pounds. Yeah, even being gone for an entire week. And I'm going to see if I can pull this up on the computer so that I can see what I'm doing over here. Let's see. Come on, computer. Okay, I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to keep talking because I'm assuming that I'm going to come back. I'm assuming that I'm going to come back. But anyway, Lacey's been at Disney World all week and lost 1.6 pounds. So yeah, very good. Very good, Lacey. Awesome. Okay, and here we go. Okay, so I can see that I am no longer frozen, but the volume is up, and I know y'all don't want to hear me on this one too, so give me just a second. Let's see. Okay, and here we go. Okay, so I can see that... Whoops, hold on. There we go. Okay, so now I can't hear myself talking, but I can see that I'm back again, so awesome. Okay, so it didn't quite upchuck. Okay, and Marlene says, how about a Wego pin? That would be cute too. Yeah, like a little pin that you could put on something like on your purse or, oh no, you know what we need to do? Jordan, you have 4 days to figure this out. 4 days. How about a Wego charm that we could actually put on our charms with the charms that we've collected from Weight Watchers. So yeah. And Janice says that she's seeing the post, but I'm locked up. Okay, so I'm watching myself over here on a computer, which is really weird, and I'm not locked up anymore. So yeah, so hopefully I'm back. Okay, anyway, so y'all have got me completely sidetracked. What we're supposed to be talking about is the weekly. So last week's topic was to speak up for yourself. And we talked a lot about how to ask people, how to ask for help. And now y'all are talking about the charms. But anyway, so how to ask people for help, how to, what to say to them, how to, how to talk to them, how to ask for some help. So what I did this week is I have somebody, and I can't talk about it a whole lot because a couple of coworkers are here, but I have somebody who is definitely a food pusher. And so I've had the chat, I've had the talk, we talked about all this last week, had the chat, had the talk. Can't think of any other way to explain because she just doesn't get it. So I've enlisted her help, in a couple of meals so that she's helping, she's still feeding me. And again, not anything malicious. She just loves to feed people. That is her love language, is feeding people. If that's not even part of the love language book, but yeah, that's her love language, is feeding people. So who did your homework? Who did your homework and either chatted with a friend or chatted with one of us or chatted within the group and practiced? Or, okay, so if you did your homework and you practiced, give yourself a thumbs up. So we want to see, so who all practiced with somebody? You stood in the mirror and said, hey, husband, wife, brother, sister, coworker, mom-in-law, whoever you are, this is how this makes me feel. This is what I need help with. You asked, how many of you practiced? So how many of you practiced that? You did that part of your homework. Yeah. Hey, Mary. And Mary says, finally found the feed. I'm here. Yeah. Yeah. Oh no. Janice said she forgot she had ordered her shirt. Oh no. Uh-oh. Yeah. But Janice, you've had a hard month though. Okay. So, oh, and Debbie needs a Wego tank top for the Star Wars 5K before April the 15th. That can't happen. Okay, anyway, so I saw a couple of angry faces. I don't know what that was about. But anyway, so, yeah, so if you did your homework, or if you chatted with yourself or chatted with a friend, whatever, give yourself a thumbs up. If you actually had the talk, so if you actually had the talk with somebody Let's see some hearts. So if you actually, you know, said, hey, you know, sat your husband down or sat your kids down or, you know, whatever, and you said, and you sat down and said, this is where I need help. Of course, I have this discussion with my husband every single week. Yeah, every single week. So he's used to the chat. You know, he's used to having that chat, you know, where I say, this is what I need help with. I saw another angry face. Where is Sally when we need her? Yeah, no angry faces. But anyway, so you actually had the chat with somebody. You, oh, okay. And somebody says I keep freezing up. So, like, I'm watching me on a computer, and it's going. So sometimes sometimes if I'm, so like I live stream our church service sometimes on Sunday mornings, and if they're freezing up, it's me. It's not them. It's me. It's my internet service. Yeah, and Edith says, Wegos, I must have missed something. So Edith, Wegos are a whole nother discussion for a whole nother time. You know, it would take too long to explain Wegos here. So if anybody would care to explain a Wego to her, that would be awesome. But, yeah, so Sybil says her husband gets the chat too. Yeah, or you're derailing yourself, or yeah, you're derailing. Yeah, okay. And somebody said maybe the angry face was because of freezing. Yeah, that's okay. Don't do an angry face because I'm freezing. If you're gonna do a sad face, okay. But anyway, okay. So good for you all who have had that chat with somebody. If you've had it in the past, you know, it's not going to work for everybody. You know, like my mother-in-law, when she used to cut, remember the quarter slices of pie that I talked about? So yeah, the chat never worked for her. It's not going to work for her now. So I'll just have to find other ways to work around it. But if you all did have a chat with somebody, or if you at least practiced it, very proud of you. So good job for doing your homework. More Bravo stickers for doing your homework. Okay, now I need a timekeeper. Okay, so I need a timekeeper, and thank you all for letting me know that I'm not freezing up in certain areas. So I need a timekeeper. Who's going to be my timekeeper? Because I need somebody to let me know when it's been, I'm going to tell you all a story, but I need somebody to let me know when it's been 30 minutes after I start the story, if that makes any sense. So where's my timekeepers? Is Cheryl here? She's always a good timekeeper if she's here, but anybody can do it. Who can be my timekeeper? Because okay, Carol's going to keep time. Carol instead of Cheryl. Oh my goodness. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. So Carol, according to my watch, it is 8:17. So at 8, and Jackie's going to keep time too. Great. So you all keep up with each other and let each other know, because you know I won't stop talking. So I need you all to tell me when it's been 30 minutes. So at, okay, so it's 8:17. So at 8, actually, oh, and Cheryl is there. Hey, Cheryl. Okay, so 30 minutes might be a little long. Let me think just a second. Let's do, it's 8:18. Why don't y'all tell me at 8:40? So at 8:40, I'm going to start a story right now. At 8:40, I need you all to tell me that it's time. So, yeah. Okay, so there's like 3 of y'all. So now Debbie's going to do it too. So, yeah, all of y'all together, that's perfectly fine. At 8:40, at 8:40, you all let me know what time it is, okay? Just tell me it's time. Say it's time to finish. We're going to play a little game. Okay, so, oh, and thank you, Kathy. Kathy shared the, Kathy shared the Wego recipe. Yay. Thank you, Kathy. So for for anybody that was asking about what Wegos are, Kathy has shared the recipe. Thank you very much. Okay, so at 8:40, we're going to play a game. Okay, but first, you have to listen to a story, and then we're also going to talk about some things that I found at Aldi. So for my story, I'm going to take a little sip of my lemonade. Hold on. Okay, because it's not a long story, but okay, I need everybody to put their listening ears on. We're going to play a game at 8:40, but you need to hear the story first, okay? So put your listening ears on. Don't let me freeze up. Don't let Facebook cut me off, because you have to hear the whole story, okay? It's part of the game. So pay close attention. Okay, so there, one day in, I'm just going to pick a town. One day in Alyssaville, Missouri. Yeah, So I don't know what that has to do with Alyssa, but anyway. So one day in Alyssaville, Missouri, there was a big storm coming. And remember, this is a story. Didn't really happen. So there was a big storm coming. The news had been talking about it for days and days and days and days and days. And everybody was getting prepped, and all the grocery stores were selling bottled water and selling giant bags of dog food, just in case it really rained that much and you couldn't get out. And people were buying sandbags, and it was going to be a lot of rain. So days before the rain came, days and days and days before the rain came, the news has been reporting it. Schools have been talking about it. The kids are prepped. All the teachers have been telling them what to do. They've been practicing what to happen. If there's just a torrential rain and if it floods. So they've been prepping for this for for days. They've had days to prepare for this. So it finally comes. Great. And Cheryl says it's freezing now. I can't freeze during my story. Okay. So try to hang on for the whole story if you can. So hopefully I'm not freezing. I'm not freezing on mine. But anyway, so they've been preparing for days for this rain. The rains finally come. The clouds get all black. There's lightning. The clouds are getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And Casey will know what I mean when I say, and there's Death Eater clouds. So Death Eater clouds are moving in, and it's just pouring and pouring and pouring. And it's almost literally raining cats and dogs. You can just see it coming down, in sheets and sheets and sheets and sheets and sheets. And so there's this man, and he lives in a 2-story house, and he's thinking, okay, we're gonna name him Ralph. Don't know why. We're gonna name him Ralph. So Ralph lives in a 2-story house, and he lives in Alyssaville, Missouri. I think that's where I said this story was. Anyway, so Ralph lives in Alyssaville, Missouri, and he lives in a 2-story house. And so Ralph says, well, I know they've been talking about rain for a couple of days, but I live in a 2-story house, so I'll be fine. And Casey says, sorry, I just now got here. We were listening on the way back from Papaw and Dita's. Yeah, so they're listening in the car. Okay, so Casey, this story, Ralph lives in a 2-story house in Alyssaville, Missouri, and there's a torrential rain, and they've been prepping for it for days. The weather's been talking about it, news has been talking about it, everybody's talking about what to do to get ready. Okay, so Ralph lives in a 2-story house, and he says, well, okay, I know it's going to rain. We all know it's going to rain. It's coming. We've been watching the move, on the radar across the country. We know that the rain is coming, but I live in a 2-story house, so I'm going to be fine. So Ralph doesn't go get any, hey, my Christy. So Ralph doesn't go get any supplies. He doesn't go get any bottled water. He doesn't get any batteries for his flashlight. He doesn't get any sandbags. And he just sits in his 2-story house and waits. And hours go by, and Ralph notices, there's water coming up in my yard. And so he starts praying, Jesus, please don't let the water come into my house. I live in a 2-story house, so I think I'll be fine. Yeah, so thank you for giving me a 2-story house so that I'll be fine. And he waits and waits and waits and waits and waits. Well, pretty soon, within a few more hours, the water is in the house and the power's gone because, the water's in the house, and so all the power is cut off, and it's still storming and it's lightning and everything. And Ralph says, okay, God, well, you've given me a 2-story house, the power's out, but, I do have a flashlight, so I'll just go upstairs. So he goes upstairs because he lives in a 2-story house, and he's got his flashlight. And he's still just entertaining himself, and he's reading a book, because by flashlight. And then the water keeps rising and rising and rising. Well, the next thing you know, it's up high enough that Ralph really needs to get up off the floor. He really needs to move maybe up onto the roof. But he keeps thinking, well, I've got a 2-story house. It's not a big deal. Surely it won't come up that high. Even though it's supposed to be the flood of the century, surely it's not going to come up that high. Then the batteries go out in his flashlight. And he doesn't have any more batteries. And the water's getting higher and higher and higher. So Ralph climbs out a window, and he climbs up on his roof and says, okay, God, well, you gave me a 2-story house, but the water's too high, so I'm going to sit up here and wait for you to rescue me. So he's sitting on top of his roof and watching it rain and rain and rain and rain and rain. And he keeps saying, okay, God, come and get me. So while he's waiting on God to come and get him, a blue fire truck drives by, and the water's up so high that the fire truck can just barely get down the road. It can barely get down the road. And it's a blue fire truck, and it's full of firemen and one firewoman. because we do have one downtown, on the ladder truck, and they're like, sir, we're going to put the ladder up to you on the roof. Climb onto the fire truck. We'll rescue you. And Ralph said, no. Don't worry. I am optimistic that this is going to be okay. I have a 2-story house, and God is coming to rescue me. So don't worry about it. Thank you. Take care of yourselves, but I've got this under control. You can go ahead. Okay, sir, but this is your last chance. We're not coming back. So all the firemen and one firewoman drive on down the road to the next person, and the water just keeps getting higher and higher and higher. Well, now it's getting up, it's like up onto the 2nd story of the, of the window. So no more vehicles can come down the road. No more fire trucks can come down the road. And a pink bass boat comes by. And the pink bass boat has a couple of men in it that are in a tournament that had been in a tournament, so they're out driving around, seeing if there's anybody that they can rescue. Hey, Sherilyn, and I'm telling a very long story, Sherilyn, sorry. But anyway, it will make sense after our 30 minutes, so at 8:40 it'll make sense. But anyway, so the pink bass boat comes by with the guys that are in the tournament, and it comes by and it was like, hey, we're out rescuing people, the water's gotten so high, sir, you've got to get in the boat. Get in the boat and we'll rescue you. And Ralph says, nope, don't worry about it. I've got a 2-story house. God's coming to get me. He's already told me that he'll rescue me. So not a problem. You can just keep on going, just keep on, go find somebody else. I've got this. I'm not worried about it. So the water's getting higher and higher and higher and higher. And now it's up to the roof. And Ralph has had to stand up and his shoes are wet. He's standing on his roof and his shoes are soaking wet. And he's thinking, okay, God, come and rescue me. What are you waiting for? I'm, starting to freak out here a little bit. I've been patient. I've been optimistic. You gave me a 2-story house, but I'm starting to get a little nervous, because my shoes are getting wet. It's time for you to come rescue me. And I need to know some of y'all are still there. Are y'all still there in my very long story? Anyway, so the next thing that comes by, there's a black helicopter, and the black helicopter is full of rescue penguins. Don't ask me why. Anyway, so the black helicopter comes by. It's a solid black helicopter, and it's full of rescue penguins. And this guy who's flying the black helicopter and he's rescuing, thank you for the thumbs up, Stu. He's got all these rescue penguins in there. He's like, sir, you've got to come with me. Thank you for letting me know you're there. You're getting ready to go under. You've got to go with me. I have room for one person. I've got this whole black helicopter full of rescue penguins, but I have room for one person. Sir, you've got to get in the helicopter. This is your last chance. And what do you think Ralph said? Ralph said, nope, I'm still optimistic. My 2-story house is completely underwater. I'm on my roof. My shoes are soaking wet, but I'm still optimistic that I'm going to get rescued. So that's okay. You go find somebody else, sir. You've only got room for one person in your black helicopter filled with rescued penguins. So you go, you can go find somebody else. I'm good to go. Well, what do you think happened? Yeah, poor Ralph didn't make it. He didn't make it. The water finally overtook him, and when Ralph got to heaven, the first thing he did is he went up to God and said, Ralph, welcome home, welcome to heaven. We're so happy to see you here. And Ralph said, but God, why didn't you come get me? Why did you not come get me? I was optimistic. I remained hopeful. I did everything that I know to do. You gave me a 2-story house. I remained optimistic. I climbed to the top, and I waited and waited and I asked for you. Why didn't you rescue me? And God said, Ralph, what do you mean? I sent you a blue fire truck, a pink bass boat, and a black helicopter full of rescue penguins, and you didn't get in. Okay, so that was the story. And we'll circle back around to that very long story at 8:40 when someone reminds me to come back to it. So I know y'all are sitting there thinking, what? What on earth is she talking about? I promise it'll make sense. Yeah, it'll make sense at 8:40. Okay, so we're going to make this very awkward transition. I feel like I need to do a whoop, like a fade out and fade back in because of this awkward transition from the strange story to what we're going to do now. But for just a few minutes before we actually talk about this week's topic, I'm going to show you some things that I got at Aldi. I know that's kind of in the middle of it, but I had to tell the story first. So, okay, so hold on to the story. Just hold on to it. Okay, let's look at some things from Aldi really, really, really quick. Okay, and Janet, yeah, the Fitbit challenge has been a lot of fun, and I have joined them in the Valley Loop. That is so much fun. Okay, really quick, because we're going to fly through these because I made the story so long. Okay, I went to Aldi. yesterday and got a few things, and I took pictures of all of them, and I recorded the smart points, the freestyle smart points on all of them. So Casey will be updating these this week on the app. She'll be updating them on the If You Have an Egg app. So this is, and I never can remember, somebody has to tell me how to pronounce this. Deutsch, however you pronounce it. The Austrian beer mustard, 0 smart points. And I know I'm going to be flying through these. This one I'm excited to try. It's Harvest Vegetable Soup for 1 cup. It is 3 smart points. This we're going to circle back around to in just a second. These are Leaven Fresh from Aldi. All of this is Aldi right now. Leaven Fresh Original English Muffins. These are 3 smart points for 1 English muffin. This is one of my favorite chicken soups, and I know I'm talking fast, but I only have 10 minutes now to tell you this before we come back around to our story. So, Fit and Active Chicken Noodle Soup, there are 2, let me see, there's 2 servings, so there's 2 cups in here. Hey, Stacy, so there's 2 cups in here. But this is actually really good chicken noodle soup, and it is 2 smart points for 1 cup. So yeah, so I try to keep that on hand at work as a backup. That one's really good. Both of these, I try to keep at least one of these in my purse for our purse check. Yeah, so one of these, and this is all from Aldi, one of these is 100-calorie packs of almonds and 100-calorie packs of almonds and walnuts. Both of these are 3 smart points, for each one. And they're in little packs, and it's already divided out for you, so you're not at risk of overeating them unless you want to continue opening packages. Then this is a favorite of mine and Casey's. Hey, Valerie. It's Valerie's first time watching. Everybody say hello to Valerie and welcome her. It's her very first time watching. And I promise, Valerie, I don't tell really, really long stories every time, so don't worry about it. Okay, this is one of mine and Casey's favorites. It is Mama Cozy's Pepperoni Turkey. And since we moved to freestyle, now 16 of them are 2 smart points. Yeah, 16. 16 is a lot of pepperonis for 2 smart points. Okay, and then we have, this was new to me. These are Fit and Active. And if you haven't ever been to Aldi, Aldi's, the Fit and Active are always going to be lighter. Not necessarily low points, but they'll be Fit and Active will always be lighter than something not Fit and Active. And these are caramel corn rice cakes, which really intrigued me because I was like, ooh, I like caramel corn. Okay, these are fine. They taste like a caramel. They taste like a rice cake. Yeah, they were fine. But they're 2 smart points for one rice cake. Probably won't buy those again, but you know, they're gonna be handy for a sturdy snack. Okay, pretzel slims. These are always a favorite. These are like the pretzel thins that you get other places. 1 ounce is 3 smart points, and an ounce, I believe, is about 18 or 20 of them. This with the string cheese I'm going to show you in a second, and the Mama Cozy's pepperonis. Yum! Yeah, so good. Okay, then we have Fit and Active again. See the name again? Fit and Active. Yeah, I know. And Phyllis just said the mini ones are awesome. These are the mini ones. Much prefer these. Much prefer these. They are 8 mini rice cakes, so they're like this big. 8 of those for 2 smart points. I would much rather have 8 of these little ones for 2 smart points than that one big one. Just saying. Yeah, so if you get a chance to go to Aldi, love this one. And then people ask me all the time about the granola that I put on top of my yogurt, and that I put on top of my air fryer baked apples. And the air fryer baked apple recipe is already on our blog, and it's www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. And so that's already on there. But people ask me all the time what kind of granola I use. Well, if you just scan this, you're going to pass out because the serving size is a half a cup, and for a half of a cup, it's 8 smart points. So you would go, huh, and you'd put it up. 1 tablespoon is 1 smart point. 2 tablespoons is still just 2 smart points. So this doesn't have the weird Weight Watchers math where 1 tablespoon is 1 and 2 is 3. 1 is 1 and 2 is 2. And so I put 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons on my yogurt or on my air fryer baked apples. And it's the pumpkin and flax. They have several different kinds of granola, but the pumpkin and flax is a favorite. Okay, then some cold things real quick. I have about 6 minutes before y'all are going to start fussing at me. Okay, the Fit and Active light string cheese. This is another one of those where the weird Weight Watchers math doesn't come into play. 1 Fit and Active light string cheese from Aldi is 1 smart point. 2 Fit and Active light string cheese from Aldi is 2 smart points. So the light string cheese on the pretzel slims with a Mama Cozy's on a desperate day, and stick them in the microwave for a minute. Like chop this up, like lay the pretzel thin down. I didn't have time to do it for tonight, but lay the pretzel thin down, tear off some of the mozzarella string cheese and put it on there, or put the pepperoni on first, and then put the string cheese, a chunk of the string cheese on top of it, and microwave it. You have tiny little cheater pizzas. Tiny little cheater pizzas. So those are good. Okay, and somebody in our group mentioned Laughing Cow cheese this week, and I went, ah, Laughing Cow cheese. I used to eat that all the time. Don't know why I haven't bought any, but Aldi has the Happy Farms version of it. It's the exact same thing. Probably is the same thing, but it's 1 smart point for 1 wedge. You know how they come in those little wedges inside? So it's 1 smart point for that, and it's spreadable cheese. This one was new to me from Aldi. This is Sim's brand, and it's snack sticks, turkey sausage snack sticks. And you can see a snack stick is pretty big. It's this big. Yeah, and Chrissy said she made mini pizza with the mini nan. Yeah. So these for 1 snack stick, it's turkey sausage, but it's pretty big. I mean, look how big that is. It's 1 smart point for 1 stick. Then this is, theirs is called Appleton Farms. So a lot of their meat products are Appleton Farms. This is Appleton Farms biscuit ham slices. So for those of you who don't live in biscuit land, sorry, y'all may not have this. But for those of us that live down here in biscuit world, yeah, we even have a biscuit festival in Knoxville every year. We're so addicted to our biscuits. But these are biscuit ham slices. And for 4 slices, it's 1 smart point. So you could have 4. You can have 4 of these. This is kind of like Canadian bacon, but they're biscuit ham slices. So yeah, so 4 of these slices is 1 smart point. Then Appleton Farms also has their center cut bacon. And this is real bacon. This is not turkey bacon. The Appleton Farms Gourmet Butcher Slice center cut bacon, 3 slices is 2 smart points. You heard me. 3 slices, not 2 slices is 3. 3 slices, 2 smart points. Yeah, it's bacon. It's real bacon. Real bacon. Okay, and then they also have Appleton Farms breakfast ham slices. So a bigger slice if you wanted to put it in a skillet with some eggs, you know, or something like that. So the bigger slices, these 1 slice. So the bigger slice, 1 slice is 1 smart point. Then these, I've never seen these before. Somebody please explain these to me. Casey and I are having this for lunch tomorrow, or we're having one of these for lunch tomorrow. I don't know what this is. They're called Nourish Bowls. This one is sesame sriracha. It's got broccoli, cabbage, carrots, kohlrabi, snap peas, and brown rice with sesame sriracha sauce. And then, oh, I've only got 3 minutes. Thank you, Jackie. And then this one is a Nourish Bowl. Oh, yes, and YouTube people, I know it's backwards. But this one it's made by Man's. Nourish Bowls, spicy Thai, kohlrabi noodles, kale, carrot, spicy Thai sauce, and toasted coconut. And the whole container, is this with the update for Aldi's on the app? Okay, Betty wants to know if this is with the update for Aldi's on the app. Not yet. These are new items that Casey's going to be putting on the Aldi list for the app. So it'll get yet another update. But I don't really understand what these are. You heat them up or something? I don't know. Has anybody ever had these? The Nourish Bowls. It's 9 points for the whole. It's 9 points for the whole thing. I mean, and they're pretty good size, but I don't really understand what they are. But you combine the sauce, the fresh veggies, and the rice. You cover with a plate or a paper towel, and you heat it, and you mix and nourish. Okay. Yeah, are they good? So Phyllis says you cook them up, and they're super healthy. Yeah, it looks like super healthy because it's a lot of vegetables. But has anybody tasted these? I don't know. I bought them because they looked fun. So we'll be finding out later this week. So, oh, okay. And yeah, Amy says they're good. She had one this week. Yay! Good. So Casey, that's what we're having for lunch tomorrow. Okay, so I have never seen the biscuit slices at Aldi before. One thing I'll warn you about with Aldi, and we don't have much time, one thing I'll warn you about with Aldi is they, sometimes they have stuff and then you go back the next time and they don't, or it's new or whatever. But I'm thinking a 3-point Aldi 11 Fresh English muffin, and I could have 1 or 2 slices of, this. I don't need 4 slices of this. 1 minute. And my basic egg mug recipe, and I could have a little sandwich. So guess what I'm having for breakfast tomorrow? Because I've been addicted to Weggos all week. So tomorrow I think I'll have a little sandwich. Okay, so somehow I talked exactly as long as I needed to for it to be time to come back to our story. So this week's meeting was, I'm optimistic but realistic. So remember, here's your weekly again. So always grab your weekly, and Jackie says it's time, and this is actually, and Larry says it's, or Mary says it's time. So this is perfect timing. Carol says it's 8:40. So this is perfect timing to wrap back around. So thank you, ladies, for reminding me. Okay, so our topic for this week, for this last week, is I'm optimistic but realistic. And and Janice says she makes a sandwich out of her Wego. Woo. So okay, so we're wrapping back around to the story. So what I wrote down, I'm going to read you all some of this stuff here in just a second. But what I wrote down for, because there's a section in here where you can always do an activity, where you can write. So we're going to talk about what I wrote in just a second. And hey, Monica. So I'm going to talk about what I wrote here in just a second. But we're going to loop back around to our story. Okay, no cheating. Nobody scroll back through. Of course, I didn't type any of it, but nobody scroll back through. Nobody go back and listen. If you wrote this down, I know I didn't tell you to write it down, and I didn't tell you not to write it down. But but you'll be cheating. But what was the guy's name in the story? So the story that I told exactly 30 minutes ago. What was the guy's name? Does anybody remember what the guy's name was? Okay, so I'm waiting to see. And then does anybody remember what town he lived in? So I'm going to tell you it was a guy. So does anybody remember the guy's name from the story? And thank you, Rose loves the shirt. What's the guy's name? Okay, yeah, Colleen's got it. Okay, yeah, Melissa's got it. Okay, and what town did he live in? Joyce has got it. Yep, okay, so a bunch of y'all have got his name. Yep, what town did he live in? And I will go ahead and tell you, oh, yeah, Casey, of course Casey got it. I will tell you, oh, very good. Sybil, oh, and Sybil even spelled it correctly. Yeah, he lived in a 2-story house. Okay, yeah, okay, so, yep, very good, Joyce. Okay, yeah, so, okay, y'all remember that part. What were the three things in detail? I need details. What were the 3 things? What were the 3 things that God sent Ralph to rescue him? Remember, Ralph didn't get in. Yep, and y'all are exactly right. Yep, it's Ralph in Elizabethville. That's exactly right. What were the 3 things, 3 ways? What were the 3 ways? And I want details. I want exact details. What were the 3 ways that God sent for him to rescue him from the floodwaters? Do y'all remember? Okay, so y'all are doing good. See, I gave you a couple of easy ones to start with. But what were the 3 ways that that God sent to rescue Ralph? Okay, so far nobody's guessed that one. Okay. Anybody? No one so far has said what the 3 things were. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, let me see, Abby. Wow. Okay, Abby's awesome. Okay, pretty good. Oh, Casey's good. Oh, Casey's good, yeah. Oh, no, y'all were close. Oh, you're close. Okay, no, pretty good. Y'all are pretty darn close. Okay, so, yep. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm reading these. I know y'all are probably going, what? Because I'm reading these. Yeah, very good. Yeah, okay, so the other Kelly and Casey are right on line. So far, the other Kelly and Casey remembered all the details, all the very specific details. So the specific details were it was a blue fire truck with all firemen and 1 firewoman. And then it was a pink bass boat with 2 guys. And then it was a black helicopter with rescue penguins. Oh, yeah, and even more. Valerie said with a ladder. She's correct. Oh, she says firewomen, pink fishing boat, black Henry Brisky penguins. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So two of you all got every single detail. Two of you all out of however many people have commented here, and I don't have any idea how many people have commented here. 3, because Lynn's pretty darn close. Yeah, Lynn's right on it. Okay, so I told you that really long story and then made you all guess all the details because here's why that actually fits with this one. Okay, with this week's topic. So this week's topic for Weight Watchers was be optimistic, but you have to be realistic too. So Ralph had no problem. Yeah, so out of 81 people, thank you, Sybil. So Ralph had no problem with his optimism. He didn't even buy batteries. You know, he heard all this coming on the news. You know, they've been warned about it for weeks. You know, days. They've been warned about it for days, so he knew it was coming. He had plenty of opportunities to get ready, you know, but he lived in a 2-story house and he was confident. Oh, thanks. Christy said we were over at 100 at one point. So Ralph was confident. You know, he was optimistic. He was optimistic that everything was going to be okay. And Mindy's listening while driving. Be careful, Mindy. So Ralph was super optimistic. You know, he didn't buy any batteries, you know, because he didn't really think it was going to, you know, get up that high in his 2-story house and that he would need it. He didn't take any of the rescue vehicles. You know, he was just super optimistic, but he wasn't realistic. So you can be optimistic. You have a 2-story house. The chances of the water getting up high, getting up that high, you know, pretty slim, but you still need to think ahead a little bit. He could be optimistic that God was coming to rescue him. God tried to rescue him, but he wasn't realistic in taking the actions that he needed to. You know, God tried to hand him 3 different, very specific ways to get out of this situation, but he was being so optimistic that he wasn't being realistic. That he wasn't being realistic and, you know, and taking advantage of it. So quickly, since y'all endured that, and I will get back to the, to the story part of this in just a second and why that story does tie into all of this. So y'all know how I like to read out of our weeklies. This was last week's weekly. So if you didn't get it, you can still go online and print it off, or you can pick it up next week when you go to your meeting. So in our weekly, they say, you know, don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. It's a catchy tune, sure, but it's not the best approach to success. Overly optimistic thinking goes something like this. I went way over my Smart Points budget today, but I'll get back on track tomorrow somehow. While it's helpful to assert good intentions rather than berating yourself for a slip, being vague about how you'll recover isn't helpful. Thinking things will get better somehow, I don't know, somehow they'll get better. Thinking things will get better somehow without having a plan to make it happen can derail our weight loss efforts. Hey, Patricia. Okay, so, most unhelpful thinking is negative, you know, like I ate all my weeklies, that's it, game over, you know, or yeah, I tracked every day, but I only lost a pound. The don't worry, be happy scenario can also be detrimental. And a lot of times we don't, or like it can undermine, you know, our efforts, and we don't even realize it because we're thinking, la, 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 you know, no, I'm being positive, I'm taking a positive approach to this. So, you know, what could go wrong? So I'm going to give you a couple of examples of this. Oh, before I give you a couple of examples, do print out your weekly or pick one up. Look at that recipe. It's a ham and cheese melt with fresh slaw, and it's 6 Smart Points. Yeah, so I suggest you print that out or pick up your weekly. Anyway, thank you, Weight Watchers, for that recipe. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of examples of people that are being optimistic and not being realistic. So I always want you to be optimistic. You all know I want you to sprinkle pixie dust on all of it, and I want you to be optimistic, but I do need you to be realistic. So we had, there was a long time ago, Gwen had a member who just wasn't getting it. She was tracking everything, she was writing everything down, she was doing it all right. You know, she was using her points every day and tracking her points every day. She just was not losing any weight. And finally, Gwen said, well, why don't you bring me your tracker, or do you mind to bring me your tracker and let me look at it? And so she said, yeah, you know, okay, that's great. So she brought her tracker to Gwen, you know, started bringing her tracker to Gwen every week. Back when you had, you know, the paper trackers, and they still have them, and you can still use them. You can still pick them up, and you're more than welcome to use those. Yeah, Lynn says a Pollyanna attitude. Exactly, and I've been accused of that a lot. Oh, you know, I should have done or that's Pippi, and that's not Pollyanna. Anyway, so this lady, She was optimistic. She felt great about the program. She felt great about what she was doing. But Gwen noticed a trend in her tracker that it didn't seem to matter how many points she used during the day. First of all, hey Gladys. First of all, she was using all of her points every single day. And it didn't seem to matter what she ate during the day. She ate exactly the number of points that she had left. So if she had 2 points left, she ate 2 points worth of food. If she had 20 points left, she ate 20 points worth of food. So at the end of the day, every day, her last meal, so her dinner, she wasn't eating an evening snack, but her dinner consumed exactly the number of points that she had left for the day. And finally Gwen said, well, she had a couple of questions, what are you putting anything in your coffee? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Whatever. And on one day in particular, she had used she had meatloaf and, mashed potatoes, whatever. But it was meatloaf in particular. It's the meatloaf story that I've heard for years and years. So the meatloaf, she counted the meatloaf and it was 2 points. 2 points worth of meatloaf. And Gwen said, wow, you only had 2 points worth of meatloaf that night? She was like, yeah, I know. And Gwen was like, that's not very much meatloaf. Did you get enough to eat, for dinner? And she said, well, yeah. And Gwen said, how big was this piece of meatloaf? And she showed her a regular size, piece. And Gwen said, well, that's not 2 points. And she goes, you only put down 2 points for that. And the girl said, well, yeah, that's all the points I had left. Okay, so she was tracking all of the points, but she wasn't recording the points correctly because she only wrote down how many she had left for the day. So she probably ate 10 or 12 points worth of meatloaf, but she only wrote down 2 because that's all she had left for the day. So she was optimistic, she was hopeful, she was, she was like, I'm optimistic that I'm going to be able to stay on my points, I'm going to be able to stay on my points, and I'm going to be able to do blah, 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 blah. And she was writing them down and doing everything that she should do, except for being realistic and realizing how many points she had left for the day versus what she was actually eating. So that is definitely being optimistic without being realistic. And I hear people say all the time, yeah, Casey said, bless her heart. I know, but thank goodness though, she was writing it down and Gwen caught that, because if she hadn't shared that with somebody and told somebody else and Gwen couldn't help her and coach her on that, she probably would have quit. I mean, she probably would have quit and been done. So another thing, people say, oh, I just went over my points, a little bit, or like the week that I was sick, I was probably eating, I don't know, 8 or 9 points a day in cough drops. Did y'all know? So you say, oh, well, I'm staying close to my points. I'm barely going over. So I'm optimistic that I'm going to have a loss. Well, did y'all know that the difference between losing weight and staying the same, so the difference between maintaining, anybody that's on maintenance already knows this, but so when you go on maintenance, so you're going to try and stay at the same weight. You're not trying to lose weight anymore, but you're trying not to gain weight anymore. The difference between losing weight and staying the same is about 5 smart points. So if you are just, walking around again with that, like Lynn said, that Pollyanna attitude, la la la, I'm staying pretty close within my points, I think I'm going to do great this week. And you're going over 5 points every day. So if you're going over 5 points every day, you might just be maintaining. That doesn't mean that you're going to be necessarily that you're going to be gaining any weight, but if if you're going over 5 points every day, so again, 5 points is, there's about a 5-point difference between, losing weight and staying the same. So yeah, so just be aware of that. Okay, the balance your thinking. This was the activity for this week. Okay, so the balance your thinking, and this is where the story actually comes into play. Okay, so the activity this week, again, called Balance Your Thinking, and it says the most helpful thoughts aren't either overly optimistic or pessimistic, they're realistic. Of course, I wanted to be realistic with a tiny bit of pixie dust because I lean a little towards the optimistic side of realistic. Okay, once we recognize don't worry, be happy thoughts, we can reality check them to shift to helpful thoughts that include a plan of action to help you regroup. Okay, number 1. So what you're supposed to do is, number 1, you're supposed to identify your don't worry, be happy thought. And their example is, I ate way more than I planned at my lunch date today. I'll get back on track later. When is later? Number 2, Reality check it. Ask yourself what needs to happen to make this thought true. Use your answer to shift to a helpful thought that has one or more back on track solutions. And their example is, if I make a plan, I will be able to get back on track later, I could track what I ate. And number 3 is plan what you'll do. Choose one action from your ideas above that's doable. Make a specific plan for what you'll do, when and where you'll do it. Remember when we were talking before about being really specific about things? So don't just have this broad, I'm going to do all of it always, every time. So you can't make it, so broad. It has to be doable and specific. And I don't remember what our little acronym was, but it says make a specific plan for what you'll do, when and where you'll do it, and who you'll do it with, if anyone. And their example is, I'll track what I ate at lunch during my 5 p.m. break. That's pretty darn specific. At my desk by myself. So it's going to be by herself or himself. That'll help me see how many smart points I've used and decide what I'm going to eat for dinner. Okay, this is where this comes back to this story. Okay, I have been a Weight Watcher for almost 25 years now. And I have been a successful lifetime member for 3 years now. And I hover, around, my goal weight. But here's what I do. Because I've done this so long, I tell myself, here's my don't worry, be happy thought. I'm a successful lifetime member. I can remember what I ate all day and just keep up with it in my head, and and then I can just track it later. Or I'll know how many points I have left at the end of the day, because I've been doing this for almost 25 years. Psh, I can keep up with it during the day, and I'll just know when it gets to dinner time, about how many points I have left, and no problem, no problem whatsoever. Okay. Is that realistic at all? I mean, it's optimistic. I'm optimistic that my 24 plus years of Weight Watcher training, let's call it, it's not on the job training because I don't work for Weight Watchers, but my 24 years of Weight Watchers practice and putting it in place and talking about it, and whatever, I'm optimistic that I would be able to say, oh, okay, I think I had about this much for breakfast, this much for lunch, this much for snack, whatever. So I'm optimistic that I would be able to keep up with all of it. Okay, here's my number 2, my reality check it though. I'm busy. So, Lisa says she found out her mother-in-law has lung cancer and didn't want to eat her feelings, and she has to stay on plan 2. Yeah, to help her now too. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Lisa. But so my reality check is, what needs to happen to make this true? So my 2 is, I'm busy. I've got a ton of people all day long coming through my door. Kelly, what about this? Kelly, what about that? Kelly, this happened. Kelly, that happened. Kelly, we're not going to have this. Kelly, we don't have a sink. Kelly, I'm sick. I'm not going to be there tomorrow. Kelly, I'm leaving in 4 days. Does that sound like anybody? Kelly, the phone's for you. Kelly, this vendor's here to see you. Kelly, somebody. So my number 2 is I'm busy. I'm busy and I'm likely to get distracted. So and thank you all for living on Lisa, by the way. Y'all know that makes me happy when you do that. So yes, y'all continue to live on Lisa. I'm busy. So if I pre-track, I won't have to remember. If I pre-track it, I won't have to remember, and I can go back and know how to adjust my plans. How to adjust if my plans change. So instead of just saying, la, 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 whatever, I can just go on. That way I know exactly where I'm at. And if my plans change, or what I thought I was going to do for supper, or if I get whatever it is out of the refrigerator and it's just blech, and I can't eat it, or whatever, if the plans change, then I already know what I've done because I've pre-tracked it all, and I can adjust it if I need to. Then number 3, plan what you'll do. My plan what I'll do, number 3 is I will track everything before, yeah, and Ruth said the same thing. That's what I'm saying, Ruth. I will track everything before it goes in my mouth so that when I get busy, I don't have to worry about it. And I'm going to start doing that with breakfast tomorrow. So this was from Tuesday. This was from my Tuesday, meeting this week. So I started, again with it on Wednesday so that I could see. And yeah, guess what? I knew at the end of every day when I got home, it didn't matter. Jean gets called out of town at the last minute to go to South Carolina. No big deal. I know how many points I have left for dinner. Have something I want for a snack. Not a problem. I know how many points I have left. Cheryl says if she's unable to track it at that minute, she takes a picture of it, takes a picture of the meal so she can track it later. Perfect idea, Cheryl. Perfect idea. But so are y'all getting this? Are y'all understanding this? Because I have like 1 minute to wrap it up. So, let me see if I can go back to Lynn's without messing y'all up. What did Lynn say that Casey's laughing over? I can't see it. I'll have to see it later. Oh, wait. Maybe you need to change your... Oh, yeah. Yeah, no kidding, Lynn. Maybe you need to change... She says, maybe I need to change my name from Kelly to something else. Seriously, I did that one time. I wore a name tag that said not Kelly. And so within like, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes, they were saying, hey, not Kelly. Hey, not Kelly. Hey, not Kelly. Hey, not Kelly. Yeah. I mean, it's like constant. You know, I wanted to be popular in high school. At work now, I don't want to be popular anymore. Anyway, okay, so here's your homework for this week. Here's your homework because we have like 30 seconds to wrap this up. So your homework for this week is, even if you got a weekly, I want you to fill this out. And Dusty must know it's time because he's heading over this way. So if you got a weekly, I want you to fill this out. That's what it's for. If you didn't get a weekly, I want you to write your 3 things. So I want you to write down, the other Kelly's going on vacation Wednesday. She's going to be optimistic but realistic. Hey, don't wander off. Come here. Okay. Casey says, you're not only the boss, you're the office mom. We need you. Yeah, it feels like that sometimes. But I told Jordan I'm going to start putting out the little cup on my desk, the Lucy cup that has the 5 cents on it. You know, if you need to talk to Lucy, you got to put 5 cents in it. You know, maybe I'll at least come up with some nickels or something. Come here, buddy. Come on. It's about time. Okay. So your 3 things are, you've got to write down a 1, a 2, and a 3. Hey, Terry. So you got to write, Terry, you're going to have to go back and watch all this again because we're just about done. But you've got to write down your 1, your 2, and your 3. That's your homework for next week. Good night, Randy. So 1, identify your don't worry, be happy thought. 2, reality check it. Ask yourself what needs to happen to make this happen. What needs to happen to make this thought true? And 3, plan what you'll do. So for your homework for next week is, you're either going to fill this out if you got your weekly, and that's what your weekly looked like, or you can print it offline, print it from online, or you're just going to get a piece of paper or index card, something, and do your 1, 2, and 3. That's your homework for next week. Okay, let me grab Dusty real quick. Come on, because John is actually headed home from South Carolina, and he should be here in about 30 minutes. So we need to be long wrapped up before he gets here. Oh, goodness, and I swear every week Dusty feels like he gains weight. Okay, so Dusty didn't get to tell you all bye last week because Alyssa was here, because Lilybug was here, and John had him out walking so that he wouldn't drive us all crazy. But yeah, so he's here, and Dusty also has walked 15,000 steps today because he's been with me. He walked me this morning. Yeah. And then he went on the very long walk with Karen and I this afternoon, and he stirred up a couple of groundhogs. And I don't know if you've ever heard a groundhog squeal. It's a noise you don't want to hear. He didn't touch it, but they were very mad. They were very mad. They were not happy that we were there. But anyway, so Dusty's walked 15,000 steps, and so have I. So y'all have a great week. Do your 1, 2, and your 3. Yeah, and don't forget, if you just need a quick check-in, if you just want to check in quickly, watch the Wednesday wrap-up, then I'll see you all next week. Bye, everybody. Have a great week.